Hey everyone, Erin here. Welcome back to the Impatient DIYer. Today I am deviating from my Valentine's projects to bring you guys a little bit of trash to treasure. I really enjoy doing these projects and I love making something beautiful out of something that most people would just throw away. So I really hope you enjoy these and let's get on with the tutorial.
Before I dive into today's tutorials, I wanted to note that today's video is part of the Open Invite Challenge Using Trash to Create Treasure, which is hosted by Casey at Coffee with My Sunshine and Jamie at Simple Roots, Simple Living. I love both of their channels and everything that they create, so I hope that you guys check them out, and you also check out the playlist in the description below for all of the other awesome things that are going to be created today. First project we're going to be doing is this fun sign. So in order to make this sign, I took a 12 by 12 piece of cardboard that actually came with my vinyl when I bought it. I used the Waverly wax, the antique wax, in a foam brush, and it's really all you need to get this thing started. So I thought that I had my Waverly wax that was open, and apparently I did not. So I just had to open a new bottle because I couldn't find my other one. All you're really going to be doing is painting this on. And you want to make sure that you are going in all of the same direction when you're painting this because it's going to give it this really, really cool effect when it's done. So I just put it on my paintbrush and then put it straight on here because I didn't feel like using a container to put all of this wax in there. But you can see I kind of bring it down so that I don't have globs of this antiquing wax on there. And then I'm just painting from left to right. And this is what it looks like when you finish that first coat. And I wanted to give it a little bit more detail. So I'm using a pen that I don't have it clicked, and I'm dragging that across, and it's going to kind of leave divots in this cardboard to look a little bit like it's boards. Not entirely, but I feel like it does look kind of cool at the end. So I just put the wax right back in those lines. I let this dry, and then I did a second coat after all of this was dry. In just a second here, you'll see how that turns out. So this is the second coat. I put a couple little bit more marks in there to give it a little bit more character. And then we're going to put on this stencil that I made on my Cricut. The impatience was strong with this project. Okay, I did not let the wax dry entirely. I did not work as hard as I could to get all of the letters off of the sticker, but it was a good time. Okay, so I'm taking the backing off of my vinyl sticker so that I can put this on there, and then you can see I just put it right back on there because why not? It was a moment. Then what I'm going to do is attempt to center this on my cardboard piece. This would have been a lot easier if I'd actually put the transfer tape on evenly when I put it on my vinyl sticker, but I didn't, so I kind of had to move it around, see what was going on, and really at the end, per usual, I just hope for the best. So here is where things just kind of went south, and I cut to this because it went so far south. It didn't stick, and I think it took me maybe 25 minutes to get it to stick. It was fun. So to put on either end of this, or the top and the bottom, I am using this new leather ribbon that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I love this stuff. I think it's so cool. So I'm putting this at the top and the bottom. Tried to use my Eileen's glue. Hadn't opened it yet. Now it's open. I just got this glue because I'd seen a couple of other channels using it. And I actually really, really like how this glue just adheres to everything. I just think it's awesome. So I'm definitely going to be using this. It's Eileen's sticky tack glue. Got this at the Dollar Tree. Absolutely love it. It doesn't stick immediately, so you can still kind of move some things around, but when it's stuck, it is stuck. So I put a bit too much glue on this, so then I'm just using my scraper that I use for my Cricut stuff to just get some of that glue off there.
And then I'm going to go ahead and put another one at the bottom. My vinyl sticker was a bit too wide for me to put it on either side, but I actually really like just the look of this. Like the vinyl is kind of this gold color, but I think it's really cool. And then I'm using the same twine that I've been using for my Valentine's Day projects. This I got at Michael's, probably like half off after Christmas. So it's pretty inexpensive, and I have been using it for so much. It has these really cool, like sparkly flecks in it that I think just gives everything so much character. And I feel like it's something I'm going to buy year from year. Then I'm just hot gluing this on the back. I love my little finger protectors. Just kind of press that down so that it's more flat than anything like that. And then I also just kind of test everything out, tug on it, make sure that it is truly stuck before I completely finish. And this is really it for this Trash to Treasure project. I think it turned out really, really cool. I love using the Waverly wax on this, and it's going up in my craft room. Right now, this is just kind of where I hung it so that I could show you guys, but this is total craft room right here. So on to the second project of making that cool jar. Now, to do that, I'm actually using my collagen peptides jar that I had just finished and cleaned out. Collagen, great for hair, great for nails. Get that protein in. When you're done, you can make something cute with it. So I'm taking this sticker off. Came off so easily. I feel like I'm so used to Dollar Tree stickers that when a sticker actually comes off easily, it's like, wow, this is beautiful. Using faux leather again from Dollar Tree, this time in white. And then I'm also using this craft paper. It's for the Remembrance Collection. I have probably had this since I was in high school, so I could not tell you where I got it. So the first thing I did to do this, I just measured how tall the jar was where I wanted to put the paper. And then I'm using my paper trimmer to just trim it down. Now, I didn't realize that it was this out of frame, but at the top there's actually lines that I'll show you here in a minute when I realize it's out of frame. And that's how I kind of measured things. And of course, at first I measured it incorrectly, and you can see it's a bit too long. So we just have to retrim, and then I kind of found what a good measurement for this was. Because it's curved at the bottom, I was just going to be sticking it to that middle part, and then that bottom part's going to be covered. See there, you can see measured. Go Erin. So I had to cut a second part because the first one, the first 12 inches didn't go all the way around. So I just cut another second piece, and I will end up using this all the time. So this is my first fail on this one, besides measuring it too long. Hot glue did not stick at all. So then I decided I was going to use Mod Podge. I really don't care for Mod Podge because usually I feel like it just makes everything bubble. But I was going to hope for the best because this paper was a lot thicker and it has still not bubbled. And I am so excited by that because I really, really love this paper. I think it's beautiful. I also have it in pink, so we'll see what I use that for. So I just painted on the Mod Podge with a paintbrush. I wanted it pretty thin because I was still worried about that bubbling. So you'll see that I kind of do that. And then for some reason here at the end, I just decided I was going to put on a glob. Why? Did not need that much Mod Podge. Did not need it. So I put on that little piece and I figured this is going to be the back of my jar. So I really didn't care if the patterns matched. And then I'm going to take this faux leather ribbon and I'm just going to put this right around the bubbly part. I know it's not bubbly, but the top where you kind of can twist things off to hide that. That's what I'm going to use this faux ribbon for. So to start this off, there was just some fraying going on in it, and I noticed this with the gold ribbon as well. But then I kind of got just annoyed with it, and I was like, we're going to keep that on there. It's fine. So first thing I wanted to do was try and put more Mod Podge on this ridges. They're called ridges, to see if I could get this to stick with the Mod Podge. I could not. I feel like this is the craft with 1,000,001 different kinds of glue. So I tried to stick that on there and it just did not work. So we're going to switch back to Eileen's tacky glue, and this worked wonders.
It's a lot thicker, so it stuck almost immediately. Yeah, little thumbs up there. See, it's working. We're great. We're just going to try all of the glues for this project. So what I did is I just did a little bit, pressed it down, and then flipped it back over, put a little bit more glue on there, brushed it on, flipped it back over, pressed it down until I was all the way around. And I made sure that where this lined up was where the two ends lined up was actually in the front. So you'll see why in a moment why I didn't put this in the back and why I wasn't worried about that. But I did make sure that this ended up in the front and not the back. I did have a little bit of overlap, and then I put some of the Tacky Glue Mod Podge mix at this point over that. And now I'm going to be making a cute little faux bow. I really just made a loop like right like that, and then that tiny little piece that I cut off there that was overlap, just gonna wrap it around the center. So I'm gonna use the Eileen's Tacky Glue again on this one. Hopefully it worked. I won't say hopefully. I was hoping, and then it worked. The only thing with this, using it on the faux ribbon, I had to hold it for a while for it to maintain its stick. So you could probably use like super glue or maybe even hot glue for something like this. I was worried about it coming apart, so I did have to hold it for a little while. So I glued the one bow part first, and then I just folded the middle part around it and then glued that really kind of to itself with the Eileen's glue. Um, and this worked really, really well for me, and I think it's kind of cute. It reminded me of like the little bows you see on like little girls' shoes and stuff like that when we were younger. So it's super cute. And here you can see I'm just kind of holding it, waiting for it to dry. And I ended up just kind of dancing around for a little bit here. So there was some good music on TV. It's fine. It was just a minute or two. Sped that up for you though. And then I just took that, whatever was left on my paintbrush, and I glued this over where the ribbon overlapped in the front of the jar. So that completely hides that, which I really, really like. It kind of gives it that clean edge, at least on the ribbon. I know you'll see the paper in the back, but I'll take it on this one. So I decided it needed just a little bit more. So I cut this piece off of a paintbrush that I'd kind of ruined, and I used the ribbon itself as a measurement so it would be the right height. And I'm just gonna cut off like the tiniest piece of this faux leather ribbon to wrap it around this, just to give it a little bit more dimension, I feel like. Um, I would not recommend using Eileen's tacky glue for this. I painted it on like a thin layer like I did with the Mod Podge. And then when I went to put on the faux ribbon, it was not sticking very well. I had to hold this for quite some time. So this would definitely be something that you would want to use either hot glue or super glue for. I feel like you get a much better stick without having to hold it for, I don't know, I probably held it for like a minute. But then again, not the most patient human in the world. So if you wanted to sit there and just hold this for a bit, it could definitely work for you. So after I just kind of held this tightly for a quick minute, I'm using the Eileen's one last time and putting this right in the center there at the top just to kind of look like a jar handle. And that's how this one turned out. And this looks so cute on kitchen counters, and it's still food safe, which I think is awesome.
That's all for this tutorial today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed these trash to treasure projects that I brought your way. I love making things that are useful out of things that I would normally recycle, and I also really like making things that are beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys stick around. Bye for now.